Okay guys, we have a very quick and easy meal for you. I made a roast beef the other night. I had some leftovers, so I thought, what the hell, let's make some beef and cheese sandwiches here. This is similar to a Philly cheesesteak. I'm not saying it's Philly cheesesteak, all right? Don't roast me in those comments. This is not a Philly cheesesteak, but it's reminiscent. It's got green pepper, red onion, beef, and melted cheese. It doesn't have a cheese whiz. It doesn't have a cheese sauce. This isn't a Philly cheesesteak. Maybe in the future I'll do one of those for you guys. We're gonna pair this with a nice light, easy salad that we threw together. It's a nice hot day. This will counterbalance the heaviness of this sandwich. It's all gonna be very tasty. That being said, let's just get right into this. So the ingredients that we're going to be using for this beef and cheese sandwich is obviously I have this lovely piece of leftover roast beef here that I cooked off the other day. We're just going to slice that thinly. I've got some green pepper and red onions because I think it goes very well in this sandwich. I've got a nice melty cheese, mozzarella cheese, and then we've got some nice hoagie buns here, olive oil and butter. Obviously that's just to cook the stuff in. And then we're going to be serving it with a salad, which I've already made up. I'll put the ingredients for the salad in the list below, but otherwise it's just chopping vegetables. You don't really need to see that. And then also I have over here, I have some au jus on the stove. It's heated up, ready to go. And this is going to be super quick and easy, guys. Like if you have leftover roast beef, this is super fast, super easy. You can do this on a weeknight if you don't have a lot of time. I think you know what time it is, folks. It's the time we just get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to get my pans heating up. I'm going to do this on a medium-low heat. This is going to be used to toast my bun. And then this one, I'm just going to do a medium heat, and we're just going to be cooking the green pepper. We're going to be cooking the green pepper and red onion, and then putting the meat on to heat it up and melting the cheese over it before it goes on a bun. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is we are going to need to get our ingredients ready, because this is going to be super fast, quick cook, so you don't want to have anything left to do after you start this. So let's start with the green pepper. So we're just going to cut the two ends off, and I'm just going to run through this with a knife like so until we've released that core, and then we're just left with the green pepper. For this video, I'm going to save these. I'm not going to be using that because I want the actual slices of green pepper whole like that. That should be enough for a couple sandwiches. Similarly enough, we're going to want just slices of red onion. So I want to take the outside. I don't want to cut this in half and chop it up like you would normally. I just want to take that outer layer off so I can cut this into rings as well, just like I did the green pepper. Also, guys, if you wanted to make onion rings, this is also how you would do it, because then you have little individual onion rings that you can then bread and fry off, if that was the case. If you're going to do that, I would cut them a little bit thicker maybe. That's not what we're doing here today, so that's going to be more than enough. I'm just going to clean this stuff up for now, get it off the cutting board. So our cheese, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is not a Philly cheesesteak. We're not going to be using a whiz or a cheese sauce. We're just going to be slicing some cheese and melting it over top. And then we're going to move on to our roast. Now, guys, if you have a meat slicer and you are able to slice this really thinly on a meat slicer, that's what I would recommend. If you don't have one, like I don't, then you just want to thinly slice with your knife pieces of meat. Just try to get them as thin as you can, because if you cut them too thick, it's going to make the sandwich really chewy, and you don't want that. Well, maybe you do, but I don't. But if you take your time and you put some effort into it, you can still get it pretty thin, like a meat slicer, almost. And that's what you're looking for. And just do that until you have a good amount of meat for a few sandwiches. I'm going to finish cutting this meat. I'll see you back in a second.
10 seconds later.
Okay, so we got our beef sliced up here. I got about 14 ounces. That's about 7 ounces per sandwich. Anywhere between 6 and 7 ounces, in my opinion, is a good amount for this. That way you got a lot of, not just a bread sandwich. The next thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna get our buns sliced open without slicing open your hand, preferably. We're just gonna butter our buns. And that's gonna go right into our frying pan that we have on medium-low heat. Make sure you push down on it so that all the surfaces are going to get that nice toasted color on them. All right, we're just going to have a look at this. Not quite. Again, I have it on medium-low heat, so this is going to take a little bit to toast the bread, but you really don't want to just burn it. So I do suggest taking a little bit of extra time to do this on a lower heat. But in the meantime, we can get everything else going. We're just going to pop out a bunch of these rings of our onions. I'm going to walk them over here. A little bit of olive oil in the pan. As you can tell, it's very hot. I do want to lay the onions and everything in the same sort of, like how the sandwich is, you know? Then we'll put our green pepper on there, and we can throw our roast de boeuf, approximately 7 ounces, on here, like so. This is definitely a sandwich made for someone who is hungry. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some cheese on there, just like that, and get your handy dandy lid. Just put a little water in there. So we're gonna steam this now to melt the cheese and heat everything up. So just put your water in, cover it with your lid. Our bun's ready, looking good if you ask me. Maybe a little bit too much water in that one. You just want enough that you create a bunch of steam. You don't need to actually boil anything. We'll blame that on Mittens. All right, looking fantastic, right guys? So now we get our bun, scoop underneath of that, onto our sandwich. Now to fold this over, you just want to come over here. It'll be a little bit easier. Get your flipper, just kind of press that in the middle, like so, and then fold that over just like that. One beef and cheese sandwich, and this looks absolutely delicious. My gods. We got one more to do, guys. Most of that liquid's gone. Gonna add a tiny bit more olive oil again. Same thing, round 2. We're gonna put onions down, same as we did before. Now, if you don't like onions, then just don't eat this sandwich, all right? Because it's not gonna be the same without them. Our green onion, I think our bun is done, like so. We'll get our meat on there, like before. Our cheese. That's a rather thick slice of cheese there, guys. That's gonna be enough for that whole thing, probably. Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. I didn't put all the meat on the sandwich, but that's just because I have to taste test to make sure it's good before we eat these things, you know? Delicious. Yeah, the au jus is good as well. A little bit of water. We're almost ready for plating there, guys. Okay, I think we're probably ready over here. Now guys, if you're gonna make just a beef dip or something and you're not gonna put any of the vegetables in, then I would highly recommend you just heat the meat up in the au jus and then pull it out of the au jus, and it's also gonna give it a lot of flavor too. But if you want the vegetables and you want the onions to be fried and stuff, then you're gonna have to do it this way. It's still very easy. Same thing, we're just gonna make our wedge through the middle here. We're gonna get our spatula in there. This one I think I filled a little bit fuller. Fold it over. We're just gonna cut this in half. A little bit of a bias. We're gonna put that on our plate. It's looking delicious. And we need our au jus. And as I mentioned, I made up a little salad to go with this, you know, something a little light and refreshing to go with this big, heavy, cheesy beef meal. So the salad's just a bunch of cucumber. We got some yellow bell pepper in here. I do have some cut up cubes of mozzarella cheese. And then I also have segments of orange in here, as well as shredded carrot. And the lettuce is just a mixture of green leaf and red leaf. So we'll just put that on the plate with our sandwich. Nice, good, healthy helping of salad, because you know our kids need to have something green with their food. And my kid isn't a big fan of salad dressing, so I didn't mix any salad dressing in with the salad. If you don't have that problem, you could do that ahead of time. I'm gonna put some on afterwards and mix it in. And so there we have it, folks. We have a lovely melty beef cheese sandwich with a delicious au jus and a healthy salad. And that's it, very simple. We were done probably in half an hour or so. This is gonna taste absolutely phenomenal, guys. Yep, half an hour. Half an hour exactly. We got confirmation from the cameraman. Yeah, so thanks for joining me, guys. It was absolutely fantastic having you here. I can't wait to cook more food for you. We'll see you next time.
Hi there. I'm going to be tasting my father's not Philly cheesesteak, beef and cheese sandwich, roast beef and cheese sandwich with some vegetables in it. He's cooked this for me before. I know it's already going to be a very good dish. Anyway, I'm just going to dip it in the au jus and take a bite and tell you what I think. I took 2 bites there because it's just such a good sandwich. It is probably one of my favorite hot sandwiches. The roast beef just has such an excellent flavor and especially like it's nice when it's thinly sliced because then you don't have to like chew through like meat. It doesn't really feel like that. And the au jus has such a nice flavor. It has like a nice rich flavor. It's very delicious. And the cheese adds a nice texture and a little bit of crunch from the green pepper and onion. It's amazing. And the bread also is very good. You can use any bread, even just regular bread is like perfectly fine, but like if your bread's also has some kind of flavor to it like this one, it's just incredible. So overall, I'd give this like, it's like if you took 9 and then added the decimal after pi, you know? like after 3, whatever that is, just add that to it. And that's what the score is, 9.14159. That's what this is. It's such an amazing sandwich, and I would very much recommend it if you have some leftover roast beef that you need to use up. It's so good. It's really worth a try. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.